Hi stars, thanks for tuning in to Sephirin. I'm Natalie and I'll be reading tarot today. In this episode we'll be going through the Pythia Spread. It's a brand new spread that I have created. It is based on the Cassie Palmer novel series by Karen Chance. Karen is my absolutely favourite author and I really hope that you give this spread a go yourself. Before we get into the spread, I just want to introduce you to the Cassie Palmer series if you have yet to read the books. It's basically the best urban fantasy paranormal romance you will ever read. I'm not biased at all. It was a book that I found in the early days of discovering Amazon and getting books delivered to me for just a few pence, really. I had been recently out of Twilight, finishing the saga, and needed a new book. It was 2009. I had money to spend and I kind of just happened across Cassie Palmer. I was like, oh, this is nice, it looks kind of fun, it's a vampire romance. You know, what's the harm, I'll just buy it. And then couldn't sleep at night because I had to finish the book. And then just bought everything that was available at the time and have been a loyal acolyte ever since. It's got everything absolutely in the series. It's got vampires, it's got romance, it's got mages, it has Vegas, it's got, you know, demons of every variety, it's got fairies, gods. If you can think about it in the mythological world, it's got its place in the Cassie Palmer series. It's just such a fun book, and Karen's writing is just hilarious. She's such a fresh writer, and her characters feel so real. You know, all the books have been so well researched. Cassie is a time traveller, you know, to put it in layman's terms, and I've learned more about history than I ever did at school, just through reading these books. There's so much real life to it, and that's what I love most about these books. Like, it can legitimately be happening down your street, you wouldn't know, because the books are just so everyday, and the heroines, you know, it's real strong women characters leading the book, and you just love Cassie, even though, you know, she trips over and makes mistakes and might not be the absolute best at all times, but she's human and it really comes across. There's another sister series in the same world and it sometimes overlaps, called the Darina Basarab stories. I'll do another video as I have other spread ideas for Dory herself in another time, but for today is Cassie. I mentioned that she is a time traveller. Well, technically she is the time traveller, and that is called a Pythia. And so this spread is called the Pythia Spread, and it really does look at, you know, what your situation is. And Cassie kind of goes through quite a lot of tumultuous times, you know, so I've also added in a card that kind of shows your emotional state at the time, because Cassie, you know, does come across as a human and humans have emotions, and I wanted that to kind of be present in the spread. It then shows two futures, because Cassie, as a time traveller, is also a clairvoyant, and you are supposed to look to the future to see what your time travelling would change. So the spread has the kind of possible futures that could come out of this. You know, as books, as much as this is a romance, it is definitely an action and adventure type of book as well. It's got lots of action scenes of all descriptions in it. You know, so much fun, but actions need to have an enemy for the heroine to defeat. And so you've got one card that kind of shows what's working against you. And, you know, but Cassie is not alone. She's got plenty of allies as well on her side. You know, whether it's for her benefit or for theirs is something else, but in the terms of this spread, then there's the ally card, but that is someone who is on your side, what is working for you, what is going well. And the final card in the spread is what can be changed, because of course Cassie can in effect change the past to get the most favourable outcome in the future, and that's basically what all the positions mean. So we're going to run through the spread and I'm going to do an example reading. Fellow fan Brianna has very kindly said she'd volunteer to let me read for her today, so thank you for Brianna. So I'm connecting with Brianna over our mutual love of the Cassie Palmer series, so I haven't really got a significator card for her. We're going to go straight into the reading, and our first card is the situation that Brianna is in. This is Nine of Swords. I'm feeling like a very strong, scary energy. You know, there's a lot of pressure around you right now. You're not in like the safest place in your life at the moment. There's a lot of things happening. It could go good or bad. There's like a lot of things, and it's kind of up to you. It's all down to you. It's like that burden is there, and you know it could go wrong. That's the kind of situation. You're on the precipice, and there's monsters lurking in the corners, just waiting if you let your guard down. But what I absolutely love of this reading so far is that your emotional state, the second card, is strength. And that means you don't care that the monsters are there because you know you have the power to defeat them. You are brimming with confidence right now, Brianna. It's overwhelming in all of this reading, as you'll see with the cards later on. You have a really powerful backing to you right now. You know, you've got those allies, you've tamed them, but you've got yourself. You know how to put up the cards, you know how to put up defences. There's no way those walls are going to be tumbling down and letting the monsters in when everybody else is crying and running for the hills. You're there with sword in hand, and you know, you got your Pritkin at your side. Pritkin is a character in the Cassie Palmer series, and you will love him eventually, I promise. But back to Brianna's reading. So, you know, strength. This is you, and he's such a warm, kind of fantastic energy, and you must ride this kind of power wave. Do not let anybody stop you. Don't let anybody get in your way, because, girl, you've got the power here. So on to the possible futures that are coming out for you. As will often come about with this reading, there is a good and bad future. Sometimes there might be a rock and a hard place, and sometimes there might be two great futures that you just don't know what to choose from. You know, do you buy a puppy or do you buy a kitten? You know, difficult choices in life. But for Brianna in this reading, you've got what I feel very good possible future is the world. If you come out on top of this, then you will be on top completely. The world will be your oyster. The world is in your hands. You will have everything. And, you know, well, you can't hold everything, so don't expect to be able to. You will win more than you can possibly handle. You'll be able to achieve more than can be done alone. So remember that you do need that team with you continuously. And the other future, if things do not, unfortunately, go your way, is Three of Swords. This is very much a breakdown of communications card, not getting through to people, people just completely missing the message, and, you know, your heart is broken. That's why the Three Swords pierce the heart. It's, you know, it is a sad card, and it just means that you kind of missed opportunities. It's just not really the ideal future that we want. We want the world, okay? So let's get rid of the Three of Swords, because this is the one we're aiming for. We want you to come out on top, Brianna. Your enemies in this is the Three of Wands. So we don't like threes at the minute. 3 is normally a magic number, but in this reading we do not like threes. In this, I'm getting that there are members of your team that just... they're not pulling their weight, and they're kind of procrastinating. They're like iffing and wondering and kind of holding back everything for you. It's like, you know, your enemy right now is kind of stuff that's out of your control, and it's kind of actually your big heart. It's because you're just trying to keep everyone together, and I think you need to be much more demanding, much more critical of others. You kind of have to, you know, cut the weakest link out. It might be hard, but unfortunately the Three of Wands will lead to the Three of Swords, because you didn't communicate your laws enough. You know, it will be down to you just to kind of kick people to the curb if they're not pulling their weight. Don't let the Three of Wands kind of drag you down. Your greatest ally is Wheel of Fortune. So, you know, this is... I'm getting that this is you. You are the Wheel of Fortune in this reading. but it's because you keep things turning. Even when things go bad, you're able to bring them around again. And when things are going good, you're able to like keep people motivated and carry on with projects. Whatever this big heavy burden situation in your life right now, it's something that you are kind of greasing the wheels for. You're keeping it turning. You're making, you know, you're going to be very good at kind of bringing attention to this thing, but you know, it is down to you. It's a dangerous position. You see how the snake is wrapping around her neck slowly. You know, you do have to keep that guard up. Remember the strength that you are. You have to remember that, because you can never let that barrier drop. You always have to be kind of on your toes and keep that wheel turning and never lose faith in yourself. And the things that you can change is 5 of Swords. So turn your enemies around and make them allies. The 5 of Swords is, you know, having defeated someone and come out on top. This is really very much, I don't want you to let those 2 people walk away. You see in the background of this card, as much as you should be proud of your achievements, kind of don't let it go to your head. You know, those people have been strong enough to challenge you, and you should be kind of turning them around and bringing them back to you. Like, you know, say, hang on, wait a minute, we can be stronger together. You know, you only had 1 sword each, well, I've got 3, let's share resources and get more powerful. I think, you know, don't let missed opportunities. So, and this is in the past, remember, Pythia's kind of look backwards as well and try and change the past. So look of any recent battles or kind of recent projects that you've won over other people. Is there a networking opportunity there? Is there somebody that you can kind of bring, you know, connect with, bring forward, bring into your team? Cut loose all the 301s people that are not doing anything, and bring in those people that had the passion and the energy to kind of challenge you, and you can have them like underneath you now, and that will really bring you forward. That's kind of what a leader does. He, you know, accepts challenges, but he comes out on top, and then those people fall in and he uses them and utilizes their skills. And I think, Brianna, that is really what you need right now, and the world will be in your grasp before you know it. The most important cards in this reading will, you know, Major Arcana, it's always a bigger energy. So that was Strength and Wheel of Fortune in both cases in this reading. Oh, and the World. So it's you, and it's the things that you do leading to the future that you want. So this is the kind of strongest path that we really, really want out of this. Everything else is just the little things that are happening. So don't let them pile up, you know, break them down one by one and get over things, but always keep your goal in mind. I think that's what this is saying. So you are Joan of Arc, you are wonderful, you can turn things around when you need to, so don't worry about it, and always keep your goal in mind, keep that world in your hand, and you will soon get it. So that was how you use the Pythia spread to kind of look at a situation and learn about yourself and learn about your situation and look at kind of the best way of approaching a situation to get the most favourable outcome. It's about choosing your fate, because, you know, you should never just look at the future and think, oh, well, that's it for me. It's like, we can change it, we can choose. That is always the most important thing to know. And that's what I've been inspired to learn thanks to the Cassie Palmer series. So once again, start with Touch the Dark, best first book you'll ever read of a series. I'll put a link to the UK Amazon, but you know, if you're in your own country, just look in your local bookstore. If your bookstore or library doesn't have it, please ask them to get it. You know, it's just fun to read. Every single book of them, I've never been able to put them down. I've probably got paper cuts from turning the pages so quickly. It's just fun writing style and, you know, lovely real life characters. So let me know how you get on with reading with the Pythia spread, and if you want to have me read your tarot cards, then please go to my Etsy store, Sephirim, and I'll be happy to book you in. Thanks for tuning in. Happy reading, guys. Bye!